Welcome to Fixed Ops Mastermind. I'm your host, Kyle Morissette, and today I am joined by Chuck Turck, who is the Fixed Operations Director at Classic, Cadillac, and Subaru in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to the show, Chuck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Glad to have you over, and glad that we've gotten to know each other over the last few months here, connecting through LinkedIn. And when I first met you, we were working with Porsche, and now making the change over to now to having two brands, Cadillac and Subaru. How has the adjustment been for you?
It's been different. I mean, it's a different mindset. With one brand, you're just focused on the one brand, and you learn its ins and outs and what makes it work and what doesn't make it work. Now with the Cadillac Subaru, we call it the tale of two cities, right? You have the Subaru clientele that, they love their cars. It's all about the car. It's all about the environment, the people, the animals, and just, they come in and they come in to buy the cars. They want the cars. It's not like they're shopping. They actually want those cars, and they'll pony up and buy them. Most of the sales are purchases, not leases. So they come in for service. You tell them what they need, and it's hardly a discussion. They'll just do it. They spend the money on the cars, and they love them. They'll drive them forever. The other city is the Cadillac side, where a lot of aggressive leases are out there. So a lot of people are leasing the cars. Again, different animal, different mindset of the customers. So it's a bit of a learning curve. I just started over there. I started my career with Cadillac, back in 1980. So it's like I've come full circle now, with Cadillac. It's a great opportunity. I have, 3 advisors on the Cadillac side. I have 4 advisors on the Subaru side. And, every day it seems like Subaru is the top dog over there. So it's my mission now to get Cadillac up to speed and get both stores humming along both sides. We're in one building, so it's a shared shop, 2 separate service drives. So it's my goal now to get both of them up and running world class.
Sure, absolutely. So I guess the question would be, with one import and then one domestic, obviously a luxury domestic, but still, a domestic type of brand, completely different philosophies between the two manufacturers, I would assume?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I met with the Subaru rep Friday, good guy, old Chicago guy. And it's just it's a different mindset. Yes, it is an import, but I don't say it's more like a domestic. They're very, 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 very customer focused, probably more than I've seen on any manufacturer so far. I've been with Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, GM, a little bit of Toyota too, but it's refreshing to see that a manufacturer really takes an interest with the customers. Some of them just don't, but Subaru seems to really, really get in after it. Cadillac side, I haven't had any interactions with a GM rep yet. Back several years ago when I was with Chevrolet, I did, of course. There's just the philosophies are a bit different between the manufacturers.
Sure. And so, I mean, obviously that changes the way that you're going to run each drive, or
absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of the things, for me is whether it's import, domestic, same brand, different brand, when you're changing into a different store, you have to figure out what the intricacies are of that specific store, the teams that you have in place, and figure out, all right, how do I get everybody to drive in the right direction that I'm trying to get them to go to?
Right.
So I imagine that mindsets are different between technicians, maybe even the advisors or the parts folks or whatever. How are you adapting to getting everybody on the same page?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, let's take a step back. we've both been to 20 group meetings, right?
Sure.
And just because something works over in San Diego doesn't mean it's going to work in Chicago. It's going to work in Atlanta. It's going to work wherever. And then when I was with Mercedes, the owner came back and said, let's do this process. We're going to do this process. So I looked at it and I said, it's not going to work for us. We just don't have the right people, the right customers, we don't have the structure in place for it. But he was pretty adamant that he wanted to do it that exact way. So he did. And, it didn't turn out the way he thought it was going to. So I went in and modified the process a little bit, and we got the desired results we wanted. So, again, tale of two cities. You have processes that work for Subaru that are not going to work for Cadillac, and vice versa. So, you take your time, and I've been spending a lot more time with the Cadillac advisors. I was down in Subaru a couple times this week, and I didn't say a word just to kind of get the feel of the room.
Yeah.
Understand the players, and then we make our assessments and we move forward. But you have to start with it's all about blocking and tackling. You have to start with the basics. No matter what side you're on or whoever you're with, you have to start from the basics, right? Your menu presentation, build that rapport with the customer. Of course, communication. Keep them updated. Transparency. It all has to happen.
You ever wish you could inspect every car like a tech with X-ray vision? UVI is like an MRI for your car. UVI doesn't miss a thing. Scans the tires, the underbody, body panels, and wheels for scuffs in seconds, giving your team instant, actionable intel without slowing down the lane. That's not the future. That's UVI, and it's live in stores today.
And it's we all set goals. Myself, you set goals. Everybody set goals, and we've discussed that plenty of times. And it's how you're going to get to that goal, right? It's the habits that you form to get yourself in place to get to that goal, right? So sure. I have to teach these guys new habits on how to get to your goal. They didn't even have any. They never knew where they were at, so, there was no discussions. It was just like, here, go sell this. So they didn't know where they were tracking, what their objectives are for the month, what the goal is for the department. With anything, they were kind of kept in the dark, that's kind of hard to figure out where you want to get to because you don't know where you've been, right?
Yeah.
Once you figure out where you've been, you figure out ways to get to where you want to go. So we started quick morning huddles. We have both teams together. And it's just like light conversation, like, how was your yesterday and blah, 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 just a quick 10-minute meeting. Everybody cuts out, gets their post before the customers roll in. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. I have a couple ideas I want to do. I want everybody to feel more comfortable with each other. So we're going to change it up. So tomorrow we'll probably draw straws, and whoever gets the short straw is going to run the meeting Tuesday, and then we'll have someone else run the meeting Wednesday. And what we do, we understand our people. We understand how they think. We understand how they act. And then we help them grow, right? That's the easy point. Once you understand them, it's easy to coach them at that point because you know what to say and how to say it and how to approach it. Mm-hmm. There was a LinkedIn post of a basketball coach that one of the players was consistently missing free throws. So she approached him in a way as not to embarrass him in front of everybody or to belittle him, but she approached him in a way that says, hey, it's my fault that I didn't recognize the form you were doing wrong. So she came in taking blame on herself, removing it from the player, and coaching him a new strategy or a new position, a shooting position, and he became that much better. So it's how you present the problem to your employee
Sure.
to get the point home and change that habit. So we have to build the good habits.
Absolutely. I think, this year specifically has been really different for me with the way things have developed on the AI side and the electronic side and the things that we can add that I think I've been regimented into, hey, this is how my morning goes, and I have to do this, this, and this to get to the game plan so that when I go to execute in the huddle, I know where I am. And, I've been able to find things that take things off not only my plate, but my advisor's plates and, potentially the parts people's plates. Have you probably not rolled anything out as of yet, but do you have any idea on what to do? Because as you were saying, it's about getting to the customer and showing that transparent service. And so do you have anything in the works or plans for adding some assistance to your teammates and yourself to be able to get more time to be in front of the guest?
I do. Nothing's on the burner right now. I still have to get the lay of the land and get some basic processes in place. Once I see that everybody understands the way the new program is going to run, and then we'll have me and you will have discussions on this in the future on how to move forward with it. I've been looking at some. I was on the AI Mastermind Summit. I watched that. That was very informative. Got a lot of good leads, made a lot of good contacts. So let me ask you a question. How long have you been dabbling with AI for your stores?
So we rolled out our first true AI was our phones. And we started that. I started vetting it a lot in November, December of last year, and we went active in January. Really what it was seeing that my team was spending far too much time not answering the phone or being on the wrong phone call and not getting in front of the customer. And, when we looked at it, we said, my God, we're missing so many phone calls and so many opportunities to be able to get in front of our guest. And we're missing upsell opportunity because we're not reviewing the MPI or the video properly because there's too much going on. It made a big difference for us, where now we're not missing a phone call. If there's an issue where, a customer's not getting in contact with us, we see it immediately from the management side. And it makes a huge difference. But, a lot of like what you're saying is getting the lay of the land. And when you're going to make a change like this, making sure that everybody understands the who, what, why, where, and when, and then listen, hey, if they're hesitant, like my BDC folks were obviously panicked because that's their job. Their job and their opinion is to answer all the phone calls and book appointments and answer the, whatever's going in. What they're not realizing is there's so many more things that they could be doing that would benefit the store and their own wallets by outbounding and, going after, decline services or lost souls or something like that. And
I want to encourage you to take a visit over to our partner, Target Automotive, target.com. That is great until you're drowning in it. Target turns that chaos into clarity with dashboards that actually make sense. Fixed Ops leaders finally get what they need: real-time, drill-down insights without the spreadsheet migraines. It's not just business intelligence, it's Target.
And, so before we make any changes, it's imperative that we're telling, advising the staff why we're doing it, what the ROI is for them on a personal level and what it is for the store. And making sure that we're answering any questions, and also I think it's important as we add these things on to say, hey, listen, I might make a mistake here. I think it's the right thing for us to do. And if we're wrong, we're going to backtrack. We're going to fix it. I'll fall on the sword and we'll just keep going.
That's
kind of how we've done it.
That's the beauty of it. If, at least you're doing something. At least we do something, right? We just don't sit there and, you wake up every morning hoping that the sun's going to rise in the east, right? It's going to, well, as far as we know, but
right.
You always have to try something new. And if it doesn't work, you change it. So you change the processes. You don't change your goal. So the goal is what you want to get to, but you change the process and the way you get to that goal.
Yeah, I think I don't. We've talked about this offline, obviously, but I think for a long time it was all about, hey, let's make the sale, or the 5 steps to the sale, or whatever it was about, getting to the gross profit and the net profit number and everything else. And although those are very important things, what's more important is giving the guest everything you possibly can to be transparent, adding things that give them more value, things that make them want to come back and work with you. So, retention for me is showing, retention, and obviously our CSI scores all correlate to the bottom line.
Right.
So how are you going about, or what is your game plan to raise your retention on both, for both OEMs, or have you gotten that far? Is that part of your thought process of how you're going to get these processes in place?
Yeah, that's a very important part. That's current ownership. They've owned the store Classics owned it since 1992. So it's a well-established dealership. I was in yesterday, and I was just kind of straightening my office up a little bit, and a customer walked by and just poked his head and said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Hey, how are you?" So I spoke to him for a little bit, an older gentleman, and he goes, "I've been coming here for 30 years." He goes, "I won't go anywhere else." He goes, "My grandkids drive Subarus too." I'm like, "That's just great." I said, "You need anything, you come and see me right away, and we'll take good care of you." I mean, so it has a great reputation. We're probably the largest selling Cadillac dealer in the state for sure. I don't know how we are with Subaru. I know we're going to have some pressure from. There's a new store being built 30, 40 miles south of us. A brand new superstore, 38 bay, all state of the art stuff. I heard a couple other stores are doing a remodel in the area. I mean, right where we are, there's probably six Cadillac stores in the market, and we're all, you could probably jump in a car and hit every store within a day. So it's,
Sure.
A, which is most important, we're probably the oldest store in the bunch. B, we have a great reputation. C, we're in a good area, and we take care of the customers, which that's a great help to us. So the retention numbers, it's at our discretion to ruin it, right? But we're not going to do that. It goes back to your basics, your blocking and tackling, taking care of the customer. What separates us from any other store? You have a nice store, you have a waiting room, you have coffee, you have pick 'em delivery service. We wash every car. We do everything the same. Mechanics fix the technicians fix the cars, and so what's the hook to get them to continue to come back to the store? And that's the part to figure out. What's going to hook that customer to come back? So that's the part we have to figure out, both on the Cadillac and the Subaru side.
Sure.
We see the Subaru customers, they will not go to an independent. They will go to dealerships.
Correct.
And we've discussed this before. The last thing you want to do is give them a choice. So if you screw something up and you don't make it right, guess what? You've just given that customer a choice to go someplace else. So
For sure.
Just the way I look at it, I'm gonna give my employees everything I have. I'm gonna try and download all my knowledge to them. My process has worked. I've worked at several other stores around the country. I've turned around all the stores I've been at. So my process has been proven time and time again. So once the employees understand the process and how my mind thinks, how it works, it becomes very easy, because honestly, it makes my job easier because we're all singing out of the same hymn book at that point in time.
Sure. Yeah. And the thing about that, 20 plus years in the business and learning your processes and everything else, would not only are we proving that we can do it store to store to store, but we're also proving the adjustments and how we know how to make those adjustments as things are changing. OEMs are changing philosophies and the way that we have to do things. For us, now we have to take Stewie pictures on every warranty repair order that we do, and send pictures to the manufacturer to justify the repair. All these things change our time. They change everything that we're doing. So, really what it comes down to is we've learned how to adapt. And I'll go back to what I said earlier. This year is been a lot of adaptation for me, and falling out of my comfort zone. And you and I have both been pretty heavy on the LinkedIn scene and working, our networking and learning from other people throughout the country. For me, and I think for you as well. I mean, folks in Australia, Canada, Europe. Yesterday, connected with somebody from Pakistan. So I mean, there's people all over the place. And so, what are you noticing with all the networking that you're doing and being on CBT and now with me?
All right, we all know about warranty nightmares. Automotive Warranty Network Incorporated. If your warranty process still involves sticky notes, tribal knowledge, and late night claims rejections, you're leaving money on the table. Automotive Warranty Network Incorporated brings clarity, compliance, and cash flow to your warranty game. They speak fluent OEM, and they've got your back.
What are you gaining out of the networking that you're doing?
Well, you're gaining experience. You're gaining other people's experience. We have our own experience, so what we've learned on our own from trial and error. Mm-hmm. So now you have other people's trial and error. So in conversations, this comes up. I mean, we've talked about things that I kind of looked at. I'm like, damn, I didn't even think it had. So you're gaining more knowledge from other people. So you're able to pick their brains to understand how and why they did it and how it worked or how it didn't work. So, it's definitely, I don't say thought provoking, but it makes you think and look at things a little bit differently. And that's what we want to do every day. We want to look at things a little bit differently. You want to, everybody says you want to get 1% better every day, which is true. I mean, you do. Every day you want to get a little better, a little better, a little better. I mean, you and I know that we can walk into a store and we'll see, half a dozen things, half a dozen opportunities right at that point. But now we look at it through networking and friendships. You see things through a different lens, or there's another side to the story, shall we say.
Sure.
So it helps. It really does.
I find that the networking piece for me is, you're finding a lot of folks that are in dealerships, not in dealerships, have been in dealerships, haven't been in dealerships. And, the different questions that folks ask each other, just really make you think, wow. I'm sure you could walk into my store tomorrow and say, hey, there's 10 things that we could do a little differently, and we'd probably pick something up, and you'd be right.
Sure.
And so I think it's interesting to see what different people are doing, and really finding the people that are open to change and open to a discussion to say, hey, if we do this together and we try these different things in different regions, different houses, whatever it may be, what works where and what doesn't work, and we really are able to dial it into being successful. That's been a key for me is meeting all these different people and all different levels, right? So, whether it's a technician, a porter, I have one of my porters just graduated college, and I'm doing everything in my power to try and find him a job in the or a career, his career, right? I mean, he wasn't going to be a lifelong valet, but I'm doing everything I can and partnering him with some people that I know to help get a proper resume written. And, luckily he went into the computer side and programming, which lays him right into AI game, which I'm pretty heavy in. So, trying to just do what I'm supposed to do, take care of the people that are with me. And whether that's in my dealership or not, any of us that are in this auto space, I think it's our responsibility to help each other and work together.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's an unfortunate thing, but everybody doesn't think like we think, right?
Sure.
They make it, I was always friendly with the other similar brands in my market. Like up in Chicago, when I was at Mercedes-Benz, I had a store 15 miles north and a store 15 miles south of me. And before I got there, like nobody ever talked to each other. So I became friendly with both of those service managers. It just helped. Hey, Chuck, what do you got going on? We got this coming up your way, or we've seen this. What do you see? So we tried to stay ahead of the game, working together. Although we were competitive, we wanted to be the best, and I wanted their customers, but we were also friendly with each other, and we helped each other in the market. I just think it's good business, right? You're still, I mean, same with baseball teams, right? All the players are friendly, but they play hard, and when they're playing their opponent, not that they're their enemies, but they want to win, and
Sure,
and we want to win for our stores.
I agree.
And I remember at that Mercedes store, the owner was an older gentleman, and I remember he used to say, a good idea is a stolen idea. So, although we've been in the business a while and we think we know everything, you could talk to anybody in the store, a tech, a porter, one of the office workers, and they have good ideas too. So,
absolutely.
You ask everybody. I ask everybody, what do you think? Did you look at this? What do you think of that? What do you think of this? And just see what they say. You pick their brain because, like I said, you can learn something from everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, everybody, quick break to tell you about one of our sponsors, Spiffy. You can manage your mobile appointments, optimize your service routes, track inventory, and process payments, all with Spiffy, and you can learn more at spiffy.com.
So I would say, going along that line, I'm finding that, trying to talk to folks outside of our normal realm and seeing, how do they do it on the hospitality side? How do they do it, in the electronic sales side, whether it's a Best Buy or Dick's Sporting Goods or, your local golf course? How does the pro handle, how does he handle members, or he or she? How do they handle the members and keep them coming back? Because, probably equally important, or if not more important, is trying to retain those to keep those memberships, right? There's only so many you can sell.
Right.
The good thing for, and I guess the same is true for us, right? I mean, you can sell as many cars as you can handle going through finance, but when it comes to service, I mean, we only have so much base space and we can only turn those lifts over so many times a day.
Sure.
So I guess it's all relative. I think our span's a little higher, but trying to look at how different people do things. I guess what I would ask is, so in your free time, when you're not in the dealership and running the operation, what is it that you like to do in your free time?
I will say, whatever I do a lot of people watching, because you can learn a lot. You just learn a lot if you go walk through a shopping mall or a park, or just someplace where there's people. You just watch people, and you understand. You can pick up different character traits by just watching people. That's helpful to me to pinpoint different character traits of people. Spare time, I do. I just bought a house not too long ago, so I do all the work in the house. We remodeled the bathroom and kitchen, so I've been busy handling that. I like to get out and go for walks. I like, trail hiking. I like to stay active. I'm pretty healthy. I'm still in pretty good shape. Um, I'm a shooter, so any discipline. I used to shoot trap and skeet competitively. So I just get out and what it does, it clears your mind. So you have to find things that clear your mind. Because me and I know you will drive ourselves crazy if that's all we think about is what's going on? How can I fix this? We got a problem here, problem there. You wake up in the middle of the night and your brain's on automatically. So we have to find something for that release to get it to stop thinking about it. Just have your brain rest a little bit. So I find that when I go to the range that all my focus is on that now because it's a discipline that requires a lot of focus. So I notice that my brain frees up and it rests. So I'm just concentrating on what I'm doing. So I'm concentrating on something else, and that's important for us.
Yeah. It's it's funny that you say that. Going out on a trail where you're trying to clear your mind, but you have an idea of you're clearing your mind, but it opens something else up. And it happens to me. My wife Lauren will start a new show, or I'll want to watch a show, and I tend to go towards the lawyer shows or the doctor shows. She hates it, but what I find though is like there's a couple of shows that have really gotten to me and made me want to change the way that I do things in the store because of what I've seen on something created on TV. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but I've literally taken slogans from a lead actor and because I believed in it, right? How can I help? Is something that I continue to run with, and it came from a regular NBC show. Has that ever happened to you where you look at something like a show or something like that and you're like, man, I have to do that. I think it's going to work.
Yeah, it's I enjoyed the series Suits. I don't know if you watched it or not.
Oh, we sure did.
And just how Harvey kind of looked at things differently than other attorneys, and again, a lawyer's show. But I actually backed it up and I replayed that part because I wanted to understand why he thought that way about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which opens up me in a situation to think differently, look at it a little differently. So I agree with you. There's certain things that happened that I watch on series or movies or what have you that they are thought provoking, right? And then you correlate it to an incident you had at work, and you say, man, if I looked at it a little differently, it would have turned out differently, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Ultimately that's the goal. We want every customer to be happy and leave happy. And some of the discussions with the customers when they're mad, they walk in your office and they're just all wound up. So to diffuse it, I already know in my mind what I'm going to offer that customer for his trouble. You just ask him, well, what do you want? Just tell me what you want, right? Obviously we haven't met your expectations. So what can we do? What would make you happy? What do you want? I want to say 9 times out of 10, but they'll ask for something less than I was ready to do.
Yep.
So I've been using that a little bit more. Sometimes you have to have the discussion that, this is what I can do. This is what I can't do. Let's find some middle ground where we'll both be happy, right? Unfortunately, somebody's not happy in a negotiation.
Right.
But if you find that middle ground, is it gonna kill me to give stuff away? No, because I know the customer's gonna come back.
Right.
He's gonna be happy because he knows he got something from us. Yeah. So unfortunately, every situation is different. It's not a cookie cutter answer for every single question.
No, everything is its own thing. And it's funny that you bring up Suits. Harvey and Mike and that whole thing, seeing how they go through their discovery and everything else is huge for me. That was one show that I thought of, but New Amsterdam was the one for me. And if you haven't watched it, I suggest watching every episode because it's this hospital. It's based off of a hospital in, I believe, New York, and they're public, I guess, and they only have so much money and they can't care for everybody else. But Max doesn't care. Max is going to care for everybody. He's going to find a solution. He's going to look outside the box. He's going to do what he has to do to try and make sure that the patient gets taken care of. And so that's where that how can I help piece comes up. And, more often than not, when you have a customer that's hot, it's because either we didn't communicate, they don't understand what we understand, and maybe the advisor wasn't clear or didn't know how to explain something or whatever. But I let them get it all out, and then I tell them, hey, listen, I'm going to be as transparent as I possibly can. I'm going to lay it all out here, and let's figure out where we are, see what we can do, what we can't do, and the things that we can't do, let's see if we can find a solution that works, whatever it may be. And much like you, it's I know where I want to take this conversation, but my only goal at the end of it is to make sure that the customer knows that I tried everything I could. I was transparent, and they're going to continue to come back because of that.
Right.
If we do those things, then we're winning. There's a thing of, where we are on 10 coming through Tallahassee, we get a lot of travelers. So,
sure.
Folks coming from the Panhandle, from Jacksonville or somewhere in South Florida or Georgia or wherever it may be. You never know when that customer is going to come back into the fold for you again. Maybe not in this store, but can we help the dealer where they live? Maybe they had a bad experience at the dealer that they lived at, and they can tell us about it. And, hey, you guys did a great job or whatever. I don't get that kind of service back at my old dealership. I'll have a conversation. Well, tell me who it is. Let me see if I'm connected with them and see if I can have a conversation. Let them know that what we worked on here, I want to make sure that they know about it next time you go in. Call that dealership, talk to the director and say, hey, man, I had this customer in. They had a poor experience. You might want to check in with them. They were here. Check in with them next week, see if you can gain them back. I think that's where the networking piece comes in, is let's all work together to try and get every customer back in our houses where they belong.
Quick break in the action. Let's talk parts. Yeah, that corner of the dealership most people don't look at until there's a fire. Parts Edge helps you clean up that mess. Smarter inventory, better margins, and no more guessing games. It's like giving your parts manager a crystal ball, except this one actually works.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100% there. It's when I was with Porsche, I had relations with a lot of stores around the country, and just that type of conversation. They would call me and say, "Hey, customer so and so's in town," and oh no. We had one come in from another store, and some work wasn't completed properly or completely, shall we say?
Sure.
So I picked up the phone, called the service manager down at that other store. And I said, "Hey," Mr. So-and-so's here. I checked the history. You did some work on it. It's not completed. We're gonna take care of it here for you. And unfortunately, I can't run under warranty, so I'm gonna have to bill you.
Right.
But I don't. It's not about breaking it off, right? It's about working together. So I would mark it all down to my cost, above my cost, 10 over cost, and they would just pay for it. And
right.
that's how you start building that network. I mean, I've had stores call me and say, "Hey, man, it's going to be X amount of dollars," and I would say, "Well, what's your warranty rate? At least give me your warranty rate on it. If you're gonna, why would you charge me full price? I'm in this with you." One day the tables could be turned. So it's, and then all of a sudden they see like, yeah, you're right. So they kind of mark it down. So sometimes you have to help people get to that decision.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it comes down to this, like, at this point with our networking, we probably have somebody somewhere that we can get the communication line across. But, I will never, ever, ever make another dealer look bad and say, well, they missed this, they missed that. And truth be told, I won't do it to an independent either. You know, if it comes in and something went wrong, we're going to have a conversation, and I'm going to do my best to, hey, was, you know, human error, or it was this mistake, or whatever it may be, and anybody can make it. And, you know, I'm going to do my best to keep the customer with me in house, whether it be to, you know, say, hey, I know you're trying to save time or you're saving a couple of dollars, but in reality, you won't be going forward. Just let me work on the car. That way we may not run into this again.
Right.
I'm not telling you I'm perfect, because I promise you I'm not. And I don't expect I expect my team to strive for perfection, but I haven't met anybody yet that's been able to get there. So, you know, and I think when you have those conversations and you keep it real, the only person that we're hurting, or the only thing that we're hurting when we're downing another business, is ourselves.
We're hurting our field. Yeah, for sure.
We make ourselves look foolish.
Yeah.
And I try and do that same thing, you know, when something goes wrong for me in a restaurant. I try and think the same way, you know, or, you know, I say a restaurant. I remember one scenario where Lauren and I went out for tacos, and they must have hung the tortillas with like a big long toothpick. And it broke. I guess it broke. Nobody knew it. I didn't know it. And one of the pieces was stuck in the tortilla. I bit into it, and it stabbed me. And I was like, ooh, you know, something went wrong here in the process. And that's exactly what what you and I would think. So I just said, hey, can I talk to the manager for a minute? And I, you know, explained the situation. I said, something went wrong in the process. I think it broke. Nobody noticed it. It is what it is. Something missed in the quality. I'm not upset. I don't want anything. Just double check and make sure the other end isn't in one of the other tortillas, so it doesn't happen to somebody else. Well, you know, he blew it up and starts screaming at the poor guy in the back and everything else. And I'm like, that's not what I was trying to accomplish at all. There was a broken piece in the process, and quality missed it. Just let's fix it going forward so it doesn't happen again. I didn't want anything. I just want to correct the process break. But you know, I think over 20 years, you know, 20 plus years, I've learned a lot of ways to accept responsibility for different things, whether it's my fault or not. But I think you and I are on the same page in all the conversations that we've had. I don't know that I would have wanted any other career than the one that I have. This is such a rewarding field.
You know, I got out of the automotive field for about 5 years, a 3-year stint and a 2-year stint. I went into the agricultural business. The 3 years I was at on the manufacturing side I ran a facility in White Springs, Florida, hour and a half east of you.
Okay.
And then got back into the business, and I got out. They pulled me out again, and I managed 90 warehouses around the country for a startup out of Northern California.
Oh, wow.
But then I'm back in, and while I was out, I missed it. So I know that's crazy to sound.
Not
because
crazy.
Throughout the day, you want to go jump off the top of the building sometimes, but when it's in your blood, it's in your blood. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the meeting the people, talking to the people, building those relationships, which I did in the ag business. But you know, we have a love for cars. I've been in it since 1980, so it's quite a long time. 40 some years now, 45 years. Well, I was out for 5, so figure 40 years. But
sure.
Always loved cars. I started my career working on them. Moved into management at Mercedes-Benz. I never looked back. It's just a great industry. It's been I've raised my family. Took care of my family. It's a good career.
I agree. I can't say it better than that. It's changed a lot in 40 years, though, hasn't it?
It certainly has. Certainly has. You know, the mechanics back then are now like they have to be electrical engineers now with all the software and with the EVs coming on strong, the hybrids. I mean, there's lots of different technology these guys got to know, right? They got to be good at it too. So
Oh, yeah.
you have to give them a lot of credit. So it's a changing field. I read a statistic the other day. I don't know if we talked about it or not, but there's 15,000. No, I don't think we did. There's just under 15,000 new car dealerships in the United States. I believe there's about 40,000 independents in the United States. And then you work into, different stores, of course, have more stores. Cadillac's about 500. I know Porsche was just over 200. So as the expense of the car goes up, the amount of stores kind of dwindle around the country. So, so you figure there's 15,000 service managers out there. And if we could all somehow, some way network and build off of each other, it would definitely turn the industry on its ear.
I agree. And perfect segue to end the conversation for sure. If we all get together, we can be great together.
Yeah, for sure.
I truly believe that, and I want that to be my mission, where we're helping the people that are just getting into the business and giving them all the knowledge that we have, and knowledge that we quote unquote steal or borrow from other folks, and learn from each other. The more knowledge that we share with each other, the better off we are. So, man, I appreciate this time, and I always enjoy our conversations on LinkedIn and the things that we're seeing, and on the phone and text. I wish you nothing but the best of luck at Classic, and look forward to our continued networking. But again,
absolutely.
But
absolutely,
thank you again for taking the time with me tonight, and we'll be talking to you soon.
I hope so.
All right, my friend.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you.